Okay, and here we go. My name's Christopher Minori, which you know if you watch my channel, and you should, and if you don't, oh, I'm so upset with you. And so, uh, this is a presentation. These are all our friends from the Boquete Authors Group. We are a writers group, an authors group, and we actually meet in most of us meet in Boquete, Panama. However, we have a login, a remote login, so that you can join from wherever you want, right? Like, so for instance, Jane is currently in Georgia. Um, the rest of us, I think, we're all in Panama. But if you'd like to join us, we're always looking for new writers. We're a very good group as far as no one's going to tear you up. We're just going to give you honest feedback on whatever your writing is. It doesn't matter what you're writing, except porn. Otherwise, you're always whatever you want to read, and whether it's political or not, we critique the writing, not the subject. So it's a safe place. I hate saying that, but it's a safe place. So that being said, just you can email me, or actually, you can hit me up on Facebook. It's Christopher Minori. Hit me on Messenger and just let me know you want to join, and we'll set that up for you. That would be fantastic. Okay, now having said that, so what we're talking about today is really for self-publish. Well, not just self-publishers. So it's we're going to talk about a bunch of marketing stuff, and self-publishers super important because you have to do everything. But a lot of people don't understand if you get hired by a traditional company like maybe Penguin, you're nobody, right? They don't, unless for some reason they've been fighting for your book, which is highly unlikely. They don't know who you are, and you're going to wind up having, they're not marketing your book. Um, you're going to have to do a lot of that marketing regardless. And so this is really good for you guys too, even if you want to do a traditional publishing, you still need to understand this stuff. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and talk about some of this stuff. So, marketing. There are two ways to go. One is you can pay for marketing, right? So, for instance, if you wanted to do Facebook ads or Amazon ads, for example, uh, those cost money. I don't really know a lot about either of them. I haven't done them, but you can do tons of Googling on those names. Facebook ads, Google ads. Google has some. I don't know if that's worth doing for authors, but Amazon ads and uh, I I think in general you kind of tell them how much you want to spend. You're like, well, I want to spend $50 this month, and then they will run your ads. And I know with Facebook ads, I'm not 100% certain with Amazon. I think they work a little different, but with Facebook ads, anytime you click on that ad, you pay, right? And so, and they charge by the click, and they'll charge you, and once you get to $50, they'll stop charging you. And then you can decide if you want to do more. I've heard if you've got one or two books, Facebook ads are probably the better one for you. And I don't know about Amazon. I really don't know about either. I don't do them, but it is one way to go. And some people have tons of success with it, and some people have no success with it. So it's worth giving it a shot. Maybe throwing 25, $50. See if you get any hits, right? Like actual sales. And we'll show you how to check out your sales and everything. I will also say I use Amazon, right? That's when I self-publish, I am completely with Amazon. I don't post anywhere else. I like to use their Select program, and I'll explain why in a little bit. Um, but well, I'll explain now. So with Amazon, there's two ways to go. One is you say, I want to list my book, but at the same time, I'm going to list it on Barnes and Nobles, and I'm going to list it on whatever other places are out there, right? And so you're selling it multiple places. And that's not a bad idea. My feeling is, in general, and this is judgy, but my general feeling is Kindle uh, for ebooks, which everybody does an ebook. Some people do, very few people do Audible, and some people do paperback, and then, so they might mix it, right? For my books, every book is on Kindle and paperback and Audible. The more you have, the better. And in marketing, it gives you cred, right? And you want cred, you want credentials, you want people to go, oh man, he's on all of these things. That guy's a real writer, right? If you just do Kindle, they'll probably be like, oh, okay, he's doing that, but he doesn't have anything in paperback. He doesn't have anything on audiobook, right? It just makes sense to do all three. Um, but so that's one way to do it. You can do it wherever you want to put it on, right? And by the way, what I'm talking about right now is just ebooks. Paperbacks, you can buy them, you can post them wherever you want. This is just Kindle ebooks. So the other way to do it is to join their Select program. Their Select program lasts, you basically, by saying, I want to be part of the Select program, you sign up for 6 months. After 6 months, you change your mind, you can change it, right? You don't have to be on Select. Um, you got to look at your settings because basically they have by default it re-signs you up. And if you think, well, I just want to try it, then you don't want to do that. Okay, so what do you get with the Select program? Well, so if you were to post your book on various ebook sites, I don't know about the other sites, but on Amazon, I believe you get 35% profit. So what you get is after well, with ebooks, you don't really have a cost of your book like a print on demand book. So you sell a book, you get 35% of the profits, Amazon takes the rest, right? Which, by the way, is more probably than what you would get with a traditional publishing company. However, if you do Select and you promise not to post your ebook anywhere but Amazon, you get 70% profits. And I'll say it again, Amazon is the largest seller of ebooks. You're more likely to sell books on Amazon than you are on any other platform. And even if you're selling a few on Barnes and Nobles and you're selling a few on Amazon, you may still not reach the money you would get if you just go direct with Amazon and get that 70% profit. Um, and I'm not trying to sell people on just using Amazon, but I just think after all my research that that really makes the most sense. Okay, other things you get. You get to be part of you can list your books in Kindle Unlimited. Kindle Unlimited is uh, a subscription service that Amazon has for voracious readers. And I think you pay like 14 bucks a month, something like that. I'm not certain. And you can read whatever books are listed on there. You can read them all, as many as you want, as long as you want, without paying anything extra. Right. So if you're a person who reads 20 books, that's a lot cheaper. 14 bucks a month is a lot cheaper than going and buying those books, right? So if you do the Select program, you can um, you can list your books there. Why do you do that? Well, first of all, it's a good chance to build up your readership, right? And secondly, you get paid. And the way you get paid on Kindle Unlimited is you get paid per page. Now, I would tell you, I don't know what the price is, what they pay. I know it's less than a cent, right? A page. But hey, you got a 400 page book, that's adds up. And then you've got a lot of different people getting your book. That's money, right? It's money in the bank. I actually make most of my money, most of my royalties on my books are from Kindle Unlimited, right? So it's a great deal and well worth it, right? Because here's the thing, if somebody gets your book on Kindle Unlimited and they read 100 pages and they go, this isn't for me, and they stop reading it, you still get paid for those 100 pages they read, right? Uh, well worth it. Something else you get is you can, for that 6 month period, you can give your book away for free for up to 5 days. Okay. Why would you want to give your book away for free? Well, if you have multiple books, right? I have a series. And by the way, as self publishers, doing a series is really the smartest thing to do, right? I know Jane has her detective series, her, uh, what is it? Comfy Mystery. I can't remember what it's called, but
Cozy, cozy.
Cozy. Thank you. And those are great books. I love Jane's books, by the way. You should go look her up on Amazon and purchase a couple. So anyway,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And if you have a series, I have a series right now. I've got three books in that series. I got a fourth one coming out right now. The reason that's great is because you write one book, people love it, they're going to go buy the second book, the third book, the fourth book, right? You get not just readers, you get fans. Um, I am what I call a cult author, right? I wrote a play, Texas Chainsaw Musical. It sells to a certain insane group of people. They are my readers, and they're the perfect people for the rest of my insane work. And with a cult readership, you got, let's say, 500 people who read books because you put them out, not because they're interested, but you put it out and they love you. And so they're going to just buy your book. And so what I know is every time I put out a book, I'm automatically getting 500 sales, right? Because those people are always going to buy my books and hopefully they're fans. They do word of mouth. I love Doctor Who. I probably talked to all of you about Doctor Who at some point, right? I talk about it. I love it. I want other people to love it. I want to bring you into that fanship. And if you're a cult author, people will do that as well, right? They love one of your books, they're going to love all of them. And more to the point, which we'll talk about in a minute, if they love you, they're going to love your books. Okay. So, um, you can give away your book. Did you have a question, Rosemary?
Yeah, I was just curious. You mentioned Kindle Select Program,
Hmm.
and then you said Kindle Unlimited. Are they basically the same?
No. Kindle Select is part of Kindle with you publishing your book. And what it means is that you will, for 6 months, you will not sell your book on your ebook on any other platform, only
Okay.
Amazon, right? Um, Kindle Unlimited is a subscription program that Amazon has where you have a huge selection of books and you can read as many as you want for that $14 a month subscription. And if you do select, this is why I put them together. If you do select, then your book will automatically be listed in Kindle Unlimited, right? And
Oh,
when people
okay.
read it, they have access to it. Okay, so
Uh,
uh, what was I saying? Right. So you can give away your book for free, right, for 5 days. I do this once every 6 months for every one of my books. I put it up for free and I list it everywhere, right? To me, this is actually the best benefit of being select with Amazon. I list it on all my social media. I list it on various publishing groups. on Facebook. I publish it on Instagram. I publish it on Twitter. I publish it on Reddit. There's a ton of authors groups there, self-publishers. I post it there, right? And if everybody, hang on one second, Betty. And usually when I post a book for free, I get about 200 to 300 readers. And what that gives me is gives me people who may review your book. We'll talk about that in a second. It gives me more fans, right? If they like that free book, they'll go back and buy my other three books, right? That's money in the bank. So that's good stuff. Betty, what do you got?
Do you get to determine when, if you sign up for the Kindle Unlimited,
Mhm.
do you get to determine when they're going to give it away for free, the book away for free,
Well, so
so
those
that
are
you can
two
use it
different
in your
things.
marketing?
Yeah, those are two different things.
Okay.
Look at that. That just popped up. Okay. Yeah, they're two different things. Again, Kindle Unlimited is a subscription service where people can read your book for that subscription price. Giving your book away for free is a marketing tool that Amazon gives you, and yes, you get to say you'll when you sign up, you'll say, "I want to give it away for free for 5 days." Right, or from what's today? From April 8th to
Mhm.
April 10th, or to, right, like you can do 5 days, or you could do 3 days, and then in that 6 month period, do another 2 days, right? It's 5 days total. They don't have to be at the same time. You can split them up however you want. You could do one day, which you wouldn't do, but you can do one day 5 times in a 6 month period, right? During that contract. Um, Go ahead, Jane.
What do you recommend?
I do 5 days uh, once every 6 months. 5 days gives a lot of people. Not everybody's going to read your posts on the same day. It might take them 2 3 days. Gives them a big long period to do it, right? And I stay with I've been with the Select program since 2016. So every 6 months I give all my books away for free at various times. I stagger them. Um, uh, During that 6 month period. All right, so I've given it away a lot of times. Go ahead.
Um, are you going to address pricing in general?
Mm-hmm.
And okay,
Yeah, I
now
can if y'all want to. Not necessarily part of marketing itself, but yeah, we'll talk about that. In
as as
don't let me forget.
no, as part of select and unlimited.
Oh, that's a good point. Right. So to be part of Select, I said one thing is that's a great point. Thank you. Part of that is you have to only sell on Amazon, only post your book on Amazon for 6 months at a time. The other part is you have to sell your book for at least $2.99. And I think there's a max amount too. I'm not 100% certain. You can Google it and find out. But yes, it has to be at least $2.99 to sell your book. If you sell, I have a short story that I sell as part of my marketing for one of my books. And that one is for 99 cents, just a short story, right? It's like 20 pages. And so that is not in the select program because I haven't met the minimum amount you have to sell for. Um, and and I said that's part of my marketing. So I published a anthology, a horror comedy anthology called Dirty Little Secrets, and was 16 different stories. And I took one of those short stories and I published it separately and and so my hope was people would read it and then go buy the book. Oh, I like this short story. I'm going to go buy the book, right? Uh, and I actually publish that one most of the time for free. And it's a pain in the ass to get Amazon to publish for free. And the way you do that is since it's not in Select, I can publish it anywhere I want. and I publish it. I don't remember. I found one site that actually allowed me to publish it for free, and I posted it there. I've never gone back to that site. I don't even remember what it is, right? But I did that, and then I wrote KDP, which is where you publish on Kindle, and or on Amazon, let's say. And I wrote Amazon support and I said, "Hey, my book is free here. Can you please price match it?" And they did. Now, every now and then, they switch it back to 99 cents automatically. I don't know why. It's a pain in the ass. And then I write them back and say, "Can you please price match this and do it for free?" Why do I do it for free? People read that book or that short story if they really like it. They go buy my $14 book and put a little money in my pocket. Stuff like that is great, but it's got to be a short story. I think if you're just doing an excerpt, usually that's not going to work as a marketing tool. It's great for anthologies, right? Um, or if that's all you do is write short stories, you can publish it. I'll tell you what, people always get angry when I say this. There's no money in just doing short stories unless you're doing a full anthology, right? There's just not. It's always good for marketing. You can go to all these different websites and blogs and ask them, hey, I want to let you publish my short story for free. And so that's good marketing. But as far as making money, you're not going to make money. And we might as well throw this out. As a self publishing author, you're probably not going to make money, right? Not a lot, certainly not at first. The key to self publishing is as many books as you can do. The more books you do, the more money you get. When I first started publishing, it took 3 books before I started getting monthly royalties. And even at that, they're small, right? I'm retired. I'm not retired because of the money I'm making from my books, right? It's just a nice little extra money. And honestly, more than that, I don't care the money I make. It's nice because I know people are reading my book, and that's what I love, right? I want people to read my shit. All right. So, yeah, doing it for free. That is a great marketing tool. So all of that is the select program, right? Again, you can post wherever you want, but I think it just makes more sense to just use the select program. You get so many more tools and exposure, and it's great. Another thing about publishing on Amazon is as soon as you publish your first book, they give you an author's page, right? Let's go look at mine. Go over there, which actually needs to be updated. I haven't updated, but Christopher Minori, Amazon author. Okay. There you go. Okay. This is it. This is my author page. You can follow me to know when new books come out on Amazon. You can put your little bio in there. I actually need to change that. Here's my most popular book right now, right? And it's only got 9 reviews. We'll talk
I
about
can't
that in a
see it,
minute.
sir.
You can't see it?
Can't see it.
Oh,
No, nor
sorry,
can I.
sorry, sorry. I didn't share my screen. Let me do that.
No, can't see
Yeah,
it.
what an idiot. Okay, there we go. Share. Okay, there we go. Nope, almost. There we go. Okay, now you all can see it. Can you all see it?
I
Anybody
see it
see it?
now.
Okay, great.
No.
So yeah, this is my authors group. You can do a follow and put in about the author. I need to actually redo this. I haven't updated in a while. It still says I'm working wherever, and I'm not. Let's talk about your bio real quick. Another marketing tool. You want to post that when you do a not a podcast, but like a blog or something. Usually they'll let you do an author bio. Um, you want to make your bio show your personality, right? There's a big reason for that we'll talk about in a little bit when we get to social media stuff. And so mine is a joke, right? I've always been a strange person, claim to be just as God made me, although why chose to add a vestigial tail is a mystery. That's like a monkey tail, if you don't know. It's funny. It says, I was an unemployed actor, unsuccessful. It's just a joke, right? But that's the type of stuff I publish. And so it I'm setting up a social media presence, a personality, and that's what you want to do. Um, so anyway, so that's one thing. Let's get back to our Amazon page. Come on. Okay, there you go. It shows my most popular book, which is great. It shows my other stuff I've done, my other books and stuff. So, yeah, that's the great thing. A lot of people don't know about that. So, if you publish, Jana, you publish, go find your author page and edit it and put all your shit in there, right? Books are on Kindle Unlimited, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's that. All right, so I'm not going to stay on that screen because it looks weird otherwise on the recording. Okay, so that is my Amazon stuff. Any questions on that? Just I can't see you, so just unmute and talk. All right, I'll take.
I
Oh,
don't have any.
go ahead.
No, no, I don't have any.
Okay,
I
so
didn't I didn't quite see your pricing. Are you still going to run away from pricing, or are you going to tell us how you priced your book, or what was the price on those
yeah,
books?
I'll tell you how I price my book. So, um, pricing is one of the biggest mistakes new authors make. I'm gonna kill WhatsApp, so uh, we're not seeing all of my wife's messages. Hang on here. Where is WhatsApp? I guess it's here. Let's shoot. I don't even know how to kill it. All right. Well, whatever. So,
If you can kill your Google screen.
what Google screen? No, I want to leave it on here.
Oh,
If I
okay.
kill it, then it's going to be here. And this actually looks really weird for the people watching the recording. So, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, and my WhatsApp isn't on Google anyway. It's in the app and it's popping up in my sys tray. All right, so anywho, pricing. The way I price is, oh, I was saying that's the biggest mistake, or it's a big mistake authors make because they write this book, it's a baby, they've spent so much time on it, and so, they price it 15, $20, right? Stephen King posts his books for 8 to 10 bucks. Are you bigger than Stephen King? You really think you're going to sell your books for that amount of money, right? You're not. You're not. You know who you're going to sell to? Your family, and that's it. And that is not enough to make you some money. Um, I price my ebooks no more than $4.99. Sometimes I put them on sale. That's the other nice thing about using Kindle. You can change your prices to whatever you want anytime. So I'll do sales where I put them on for $2.99. Remember, it's got to be $2.99 to keep it in your um, uh, select program. And then, but most of the time, I charge $4.99 per book, and yeah, it's less than 10 bucks. But when I'll guarantee you, I'm selling more books at $4.99 than you're selling at 15 bucks, right? If I sell 3 books at 15 bucks, but I sell 50 books at 4.99, who's making more money, right? You gotta be smart. You be honest with yourself. You are not a huge writer, right? You're just getting started. And the more important thing than making money at this point is gaining a readership, because those are the people who are going to buy every subsequent book, right? A readership. Who's reading your book? If you happen to sell one time, you sell 50 books, but the rest of the time you only have a 10 person readership, and so your next three books you're only selling 10 of them, you're not making anything, right? You're really not. So, so that's a dealio on pricing. That's what I sell on my books. When you do paperback, you basically print on demand. They're going to charge you what it costs to print the book, and then profit is anything over that. And I don't know what the exchange is, but you're going to get part of the money, and Amazon's going to get more. And basically, I will usually charge $5 to $7 more than what it costs to print my book, right? And that'll usually give me maybe $4 profit per sale, right? When it comes to Audible books, and that's the audio recordings, you don't get to say what your price is. Amazon decides what price that is. And we're going to talk about that more in detail so that you know how those profits work, right? Uh, Actually, I don't know how much we'll get into actually that part of it, like with Amazon. We have a previous recording we did about creating an Audible book. And so look on this
Chris, I have a
channel.
question.
Yes, go ahead.
Now, you said that on your paperback book,
Hmm.
Amazon is going to going to determine what the price is.
No, you determine the price on a paperback, and they're going to take a percentage of it. They determine the price on Audible books. You don't
Oh,
have
okay.
a choice on how much you are selling your
So how
Audible
did you?
book
And
for.
you said you go $4 over what? Try to make $4 profit. So do they tell you how much it costs to print the book?
Yeah, oh, yes, yeah, they absolutely tell you because they ask you what do you want to price it at, and you can't price it lower than what it costs them
Print it.
to print it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So you go 50 cents over, you go $5 over, you go $20 over, but you're not going to sell any. Okay, so that is that. What else? Okay, here's the big thing. So maybe you don't have a book out yet, right? Does that mean you shouldn't do marketing? Absolutely not. You should be starting your marketing yesterday. I hate that. It's such a trope to say that. But you should. You should have started this shit yesterday, right? And the biggest part when you're doing free marketing or paid marketing, but especially the free stuff, is social media. I so far have done all of my marketing via social media. And I've done okay, right? I've had a lot of success. Now, I'm not a huge success, right? But um, one time I was in Panama and I had a reader here who ran into me and wanted me to autograph her book and stuff. It was ridiculous, right? Because somehow she heard of my play or read one of my books and wound up signing on with me in social media, right? She knew who I was. Um, that's, by the way, what a great feeling that shit is. Um, so your social media, you need a presence, right? You need a social media presence. And do you have one? I'll show you how you know, right? So let's do Betty. I'm going to call you out, Betty. Sorry. So Betty Herndon, right? Well, that's not her. These are obituary. None of this is Betty, right? You're still alive, Betty. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Um, and then,
But
okay,
my
are
you
you not
spelled my
certain?
name wrong,
Oh,
sir.
how do I spell it?
It's Herron. No
R
D.
R. Oh, okay. R O whoop, O
O-N,
N.
no D.
Heron. It's Heron. I thought
Take
it
away
was
that
Heron.
obituary. That ain't me.
Yeah, it's gone. Okay. So here we go. So we look through Betty, right? Again, even with Betty Heron, now it's just showing. It's still showing it. Oh, there's some teacher and show. Here's the problem, though. There's no Betty, right? Where are you, Betty? You're not on here. and I know you're about to publish your book or you just published your book and you are nowhere on here, right? Let's look at me. And this is not to kind of like push myself, but it's a great showing of what a presence is. And I don't even have the presence I should have, right? I should have more than what I do. But Christopher Minori. Okay. Pop my name in there. Well, first thing that pops up, all my books, right? There's my Amazon author page. There's my Instagram page. I used to work for Tripwire, right? Here's my LinkedIn page, Facebook. Uh, what is that? It used to be LinkedIn. Now it's X. That's so stupid. Here's an interview I did, right, with Movie Lovers Unite. I do podcasts with them all the time. Um, just tons of shit, right? It's all here. And if you go to images, there's me. There's me. My book. There's me. My book. That is not me. That is the Asian Christopher Minorion. There actually is a Christopher Minori, right? It's an Italian name, but he's Asian. He's actually a good guy. We became friends. Um, but you can see all of my stuff. There's me. This, by the way, is something I posted 2 weeks ago, right? It's cataloged, and there it is. Um, so here's an old interview I did for podcast, right? Just stuff all over. Yeah, you see that because I actually I stalked Kevin Smith for a while. Um, I'll go into that story. That's a story for the group maybe. I go to videos. Here's a bunch of videos I did. All kinds of stuff, right? And not just my author stuff. Here's no, that's not it. But here, I did a Panama video, which was huge, by the way. I get so many people who ping me off of this thing, and we'll get to that, doing those type of things. So anyway, you get the idea, right? You need a social media presence. And the way to tell if you have one is to Google yourself. And if you're not finding but two, three things, you are not doing the job, man. Um, you should. Here are the big ones to me. Instagram, right? I hate Instagram, by the way, but you can only really do stuff with it on your mobile phone. You can't really do it on their website. You can't upload or anything like that. And uh, but Instagram is where you get your younger readers, right? So especially for Penny Dreadful, which was my kids' book, I did a lot of advertising on Instagram. Children do not hang out, especially millennials, do not hang out on Facebook. Facebook is for older people, right? It truly is. I hope that doesn't offend anybody, but that is where all the senior people are going to be. Like everybody over 40. That's the main place they're using is Facebook. And look, I made a lot of money off Facebook, so there's nothing wrong with that. But you just got to know what your audience is. If you're writing a children's book, you want to really post everywhere, but you want to focus on Instagram, right? If you're posting a book that's mostly for an older crowd, Facebook is your priority, right? But you still post on everything else. Another place, Twitter. Man, Twitter, that's my big follower. I have over 5,000 followers on Twitter, and you can too. I have a article I wrote. If you're interested, ping me and I will pass it on to you, and it will tell you without a doubt 100% how you can have thousands of followers on Twitter within a few months. It is a lot of work. Make no mistake. You are going to be busy for that month. But in the end, I think it's worth it. You get a ton of people. Here's the thing with social media, right? If I've got right now, I think I have about 7 people. I'm sorry, probably about 7,000 people across all of my social media stuff, right? I probably reach maybe 300 people with each post, right? It's all about numbers. The bigger the numbers you have, the more likely you're going to reach people, right? Because people, you do it, right? You're reading through and you skip through half of the people on your wall, right, with all of their posts. You skip past most of them. But then you find one you really like and you like it and you read it. And so that's what happens. Same thing with reviews. Um, yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. So going back to social media, all of that stuff is important, and so is your website. Let's go to my website. I have two. Uh, Mine are Joy Studios, right? And again, your website should look like the type of author you are, right? I publish very silly stuff, right? So and I also do animation. And so I made my logo kind of silly, right? Kind of cartoony. I got my books. This is my front page. These are all my books. And if you click on one, right? It If you click on one, oh yeah, oh I do have it set up. Why isn't it? Let's go open link a new tab. I don't know why it's not working. Oh, it's not working. That's why. I got to fix this. I got to set links up for that. I'm fucking that up. And then a little bio of me. There's my bio again. And it looks like I actually have to update that one as well. It's got my blogs, right? All my different things, right? Oh, my play was a hit. And I have a review there. Um, um, I just posted one of my plays online. You can see it for free. I discuss editing your novel, right? The soul of your novel, book covers. That's another blog. American World from Panama. Now that one has nothing to do with me being an author. That one actually has to do with being an expat in Panama. The reason I say that is when you set up a website, when you set up a your social media, the thing you got to do is you have the first of all your permissions. You just got to throw permissions to the wind, right? You got to let anybody join who wants to join without even having to request it from you. You want as many people as you can get on there. Um, you got to learn a little bit about network security, know when people are screwing with you, know when to boot people, but in general, let anybody join that you want to join that wants to join because every person who joins your social media is a potential reader and purchaser of your book. Um, but you once you get them, the way you keep them is content, right? You've got to post your post content all the time. I try to post at least one thing across three or four of my social media every day when I can. I go a couple days sometimes without, but in general, that's what I do. If you don't put new content, why are they going to stay? They're going to stop reading your thing because there's nothing new there, right? Um, and the other important thing is don't just post about your book. They're going to think you're a sales site, which I know you are, but you don't want them to feel that way. People ignore sales sites, right? Maybe you follow Walmart for some godforsaken reason. You're not actually looking at their ads, right? You're not looking at all their web page. You just follow them for whatever reason, right? Um, because they're sales and they're just trying to sell you. I post, I would, if I were going to say, I would say I post something about me as an author, one of my projects, every 8 posts. The other 8 posts are about, again, I'm a Doctor Who fan, so I post all kinds of Doctor Who stuff. I post about movies I've seen. I post silly jokes. I post quotes. Let's go, Facebook. And if we go to my page, and what do I got? Well, that was somebody who posted for me. That was great. That was great. Here's a quote I did from a show I like. Here's the other night I was at a band and this guy was playing Dudley. He's amazing. Catch him if you can. He's here for the next 3 months. Here's my cat, right? I I'm telling you, you rarely will see something that I post about my book, right? Now, here's the thing I'm doing for a new project I'm going to be working on. I posted, I haven't said this is something I'm working on yet, but when I open it, people will have already kind of anticipated stuff because I posted it, right? Here's a podcast I was going to do. The guy dropped out on me. Um, so, all kinds of stuff, right? Um, Rarely do I post about my books. But what I do is and I actually have to change this to my latest book, Penny Dreadful. But this was one of my books. I posted that picture up there so that people kind of get an idea, right? It fits the book I was selling at the time. So I put that there. I put my author photo. That's my author photo because I think it's fun. So whatever your author photo is, post that, right?
Is this
Um,
your Facebook page?
this is my Facebook page, yeah.
So it's a separate page to set up.
I have one Facebook page, and that's an interesting thing. A lot of people think they do their own personal Facebook page, and
Hmm.
then they'll do a new Facebook page for each of their book, and they think that's good marketing. It's not. It's too much work because every time you post a new Facebook page, you got to get people to join it all over again. And like I said, you got to add content, which means now you got 4 pages. I got 4 books plus my personal. That would be 5 Facebook pages. I don't have the time to mess around with that and to constantly post content on all 5 of those, you know, one page, your personal page, right?
But can you just set up an author's page
A
for
what?
and you can an author's page
Why? You
in
mean
Facebook,
in addition to your Facebook
personal
page, your
book.
personal?
Yeah,
Why?
because it'll be just have stuff about the book.
Right. And so then you're kind of selling all the time, and people look at it as a sales page and they don't join. Why not just do your own personal page and occasionally post stuff about your book? And then you keep people interested, right? Um,
Okay.
Again, I'm a cult author. I don't care as much about my books sales as much as I care about the amount of readers I get. Um, and here's my thoughts on why I only do a personal page. Because if people like me, the people who like me and enjoy reading my stuff, and I get a lot of likes on my various posts, right? The people who like me are going to like my books. I've already sold my books because they're like, oh, Chris Minori, he's a funny guy. He posts weird stuff. That's the kind of thing I like. I gotta buy his new book, right? And all I have to do is take care of one Facebook page. I don't have to do 2 or 3 or 5, right? One Facebook page. I think that's all you need. One page per social media that you perform on. It's that's my opinion. I'm sticking with it. All right. So going back to my Facebook page. Uh, Here's some interesting things. I get readers, or I get people to my Facebook page who aren't fans of my books, right? How do I do that? I came up with an idea. I came up with a blog article called 10 Questions With. I have a lot of celebrity friends on Facebook. And I reach out to them and I'll be like, hey, man, you want to do this interview with me? And then I'll send it. And then I got this thing, right? And so if you look at some of my, here's Mary Jo Pehl. She was a major star of the TV show Mystery Science Theater, if you ever watch that. Louise Jameson, this is my favorite interview ever. She was a big star on Doctor Who. Here's the guy who read one of my books. This guy's a character actor. He's a very famous comedian. These guys in Canada are huge. This guy is amazing. He was a performance artist and he was dying of cancer. when I did this interview, and so I actually got one of his very last interviews. That was cool. And if I click on that article, right, here's his article, right? I ask all kinds of questions of him, and mine is a silly thing, right? So I ask straight out questions, but then I ask weird things too, right? Um, so anyway, why do I do this? Well, if I got somebody who's a Doctor Who fan but doesn't necessarily read my book, I can post this interview in the Doctor Who groups on Facebook and Reddit and all these other places, and and I'll get them to come to my website. Right? It gives me looks. It makes them interested in me. Maybe they'll read this next one. Right? Or maybe they'll find out I'm an author. They'll get to the front page. Wow, that was a great article. Who is this guy? Wow, he's an author? Holy cow, I think I'm going to check out his book, right? That kind of stuff. It's a great way. Now, how do you get these celebrities, right? I am certainly not famous, so I'm not getting it for that reason. Celebrities like myself and like you should be are attention whores. I hope none of them are listening to this video, but they are attention whores. They want people the same marketing. They want people to follow them. It gives them cred. Maybe a producer looks and goes, wow, this guy has a ton of followers. I think I should hire him for my new movie, right? And the moment you get one, you just go onto Facebook, find their personal pages, and ask a friend. Two or three of them will do it. And once you get two or three, they all have other celebrity friends, and you go through their friends list and start finding those. And then you go and you request them, and then they look and they go, oh man, this guy knows these three guys. I might as well go ahead and friend them, right? It sounds silly, but it is a great marketing tool. I get people to my website who aren't interested in my books. And hopefully, once they come here, they will be interested in my books. Other things I do, you know, all of my shows as an author are here. My books. That was a book somebody hired me to write a chapter in. Here's my plays, and this one, Texas Chainsaw Musical, has actually made me a lot of money. And so I actually have a second website just devoted to this this show because I get a lot of jobs. A lot of people want to produce my show from this website. They find it, they see the title, they're like, "What the hell is this?" And they go look. And look, the design is different. Do your web page design um, uh, in the personality, right? You go to my studio, it's whimsical, it's fun, it's silly, it's interesting style. You go to my horror play, and there's a zombie hand coming out of the ground, and there's blood stains and bloody handprints, right? You want your page to look like what your um, your books are like, right? Create a personality, an online personality, and stick with it. Another thing you can do on your websites, newsletters, right? Here's where somebody sign up for my newsletter anytime, and this really is, I haven't kept up with it with the play, but I have, yeah, and for some reason I don't have it on here. Well, oh, let me get back here. Go to the home page. Well, something's being Oh, here we go. Now, all right. So here's a place I screwed up. I need to have something for my newsletter here, right? Why do you do newsletters? Because when I'm looking for a beta reader or I sell a new book, right now my newsletter, I probably have about 200, 250 members. And so when I want to do a newsletter, I just, let me see, I go, let's do this. I'm going to actually sign into my admin site here. Is that right? Yeah. So if I go to my, this is my password management program. There we go. Let's go there. And we're gonna, by the way, when you do your page, you will get spammed. You will have your email taken over. You should set up security like this, right? Bots can't do this. So you have to actually come in and personally click on this in order to get into my website. It's the same thing for posting articles or whatever. It's just a way of protecting your email. Okay, so here's the inside. This is where I write my stuff, right? If I go to posts, here's all the different posts I did, right? There's one of my expat articles, right? Um, yeah, there. Some of my pages, right? So for instance, there's my contact page, right? And so you can put in a comment, and you can't tell because I'm not on the site, but this is code for telling it to put in my contact form. If I preview in a new tab, come on, buddy, preview in a new tab. You can actually see what the page online looks like, right? There's all my this stuff they can put in, they can put a message, and again, they have to click on this if they want to send something to me, right? Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Something, no, it's not yet. Something else I do on my website for marketing is, at some point you want to do what time is it? 2:46. At some point you want to do a beta readers group, right? Have a bunch of people read your book. I never pay. I know people who pay for beta readers. I don't understand that. I never pay them, and I don't have to because I got 7,000 people on my website, and I'm looking for I'm sorry, on my various social media, and I'm looking for 10 people for my beta readers. And out of those 7,000, I'll easily get 10. And then what I do to make sure I've got everything organized is one of my pages is this beta reader application, right? And when I've got a new book, I pop in this beta reader application. Right now, the last one I did was my last book, so that's what's there. And I include it in the menu. It says beta reader, and people can click on it until the beta reader period is done, and then I remove it. But because I have this page, the next book I do, I can just come in and adjust some of this stuff, and boom, it's done. It's all set up. What do I give people for being a beta reader? Because I don't pay them. Your name gets listed in the book as part of the beta reader team. You get a free digital copy of the completed book once it's published, which means I'm giving you a PDF. And again, joking, you get my undying love and gratitude. So,
Can I say something?
yes.
Um, Now I can understand why you can form a group like that, but for the majority of us, except for maybe Jane,
Hmm.
who hasn't written a book yet, who hasn't gotten the book out there yet,
Hmm.
it behooves you to pay for a beta reader because you may not have one, you may not have a group.
It
So,
doesn't.
but you want someone else to read your book before
Well,
you
I
put
mean,
it
if you want to
and give
pay
you your own
somebody,
honest opinion.
that's fine, but you don't have to. Instead of working on finding someone to pay on your book, why don't you just work on getting your social media up to date? And you started this, right? Tell us your story with social media, Betty.
What do you mean my story with social media?
All right, I'll tell you your story. So, you and
Oh,
I
you gonna tell me?
spoke, you and I spoke about how important social media is, and then you
Right.
started messing around with it, and you went in, I don't know how long it was, 2 weeks to a month. You went from almost
Oh, that
nothing
story.
to what? How many do you have right now?
I've got close. I started out with 90
Hmm.
followers. About 90 people on my Facebook page.
Okay.
And after I talked to you, I'm up to just over 500 now.
500 people. These are people you can sell your book to, right? By the way, great job. Great job. This is what I'm telling you, folks. Build your social media. You, with 500 people, should, and you're going to keep building it, you should not have to pay someone to be a beta reader. It's a
Because
waste of
Chris,
money. Hmm.
because Chris, I want certain things done when I get a beta reader. I don't want I want I want certain things looked at. I
Hmm.
want certain things done. I
Hmm.
want certain things. When you have somebody just volunteering, A, they can do it whenever they feel like it. B,
Hmm.
you have to wait on them.
Hmm.
And usually I have a timetable,
Hmm.
So that's my reason for paying a
Yeah,
beta reader.
you don't have to
A
do any
beta
of
reader
that.
is just dinner,
Right. You don't have to do any of
basically.
that.
The
I mean,
cost of the
yeah,
book
that, and
is dinner.
again, that's fine if
It
you
ain't
want
like
to do
I'm
it.
paying $2,000 or
Right.
$500. It's just the price
Right.
of dinner,
But some people do,
and I get it
right?
back
Some
in two
people pay a
weeks.
lot. But here's what I do is I give people 30 days and I may extend it to 45. I ping them throughout the thing to remind them of the dates. I I want their reviews and they send those to me in a Word doc, but I also send them at the end of it, I send them a questionnaire that is very pointed. Which character did you like? Any characters you thought didn't fit? Anybody
Hmm.
who didn't grow? What did you hate about the book, right? Don't ask them just the stuff you like. That's not what you're doing this for. You want to know what's wrong with your book when it comes to your
Exactly.
readers.
You have.
So,
If you
it,
wrote it, you have questions about your
right,
own book, so you know what
right,
to ask. Let me ask
right.
you this question:
Hmm.
Have you ever paid for a beta reader? Has a professional beta reader ever graced your great work?
No, no, never.
Mm, mm.
I don't pay. I'm trying to get out as cheap as I can, right? The
Yeah, true,
more,
true, true,
the more I don't pay, the more profit I make.
true, true.
You
How about you,
build.
Jane? Jane, can she hear me? Chris, she can't hear me, can she?
I
I don't
heard you. I
know.
was
There
trying
you
to
go.
unmute. I have never paid for a beta reader. No.
Okay.
And
Jane,
I
how do you
do
run your beta reader groups?
very similarly to what you do,
Hmm.
with the exception of the questionnaire on the front end.
Hmm.
I just try to get to know them a little bit through email if I don't
Right,
already know them.
right,
Hmm.
right.
And I give away, the same copy that you
Hmm.
do, and I
Right.
mention them in the book.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's great. It's working for both Jane and I. It can work for all of you too. Um, uh, this is the reason you're building your social media group to have access to these people. So if you're building up and then you're still paying, you shouldn't have to. You really shouldn't have to. Um, you just got to learn how to run your beta program. That's really what it is. And once you learn, but Jane probably does everything the same for every book. I do the same exact program for every book. Works out great for me. I put 10 people in the program. I know I'm going to get 7 people to respond. You're not going to get everybody to respond, and you have to tell them, yeah, or you don't tell them. You remind them, and but you don't harangue them. Uh, you don't stalk them, and at the end of your beta period that you decide, and look, 2 weeks really is not a good amount of time for somebody to read your book and figure out what's going on with it, right? Really, it should be a minimum 30 days, in my opinion. And again, that's just me, right? That's just one guy. But yes, beta reader books. And we got to wait because that's not really marketing. Although a lot of times somebody reads your book as a beta reader group and they know their name's going to be in it, they're going to recommend it to other people, and probably they will be easy reviews to get, which brings us to the next thing. Okay, I think we're done with this. Anything else here? No. I think at some point maybe we'll do a more technical thing on how to actually do WordPress. I know you wanted that, Betty, so maybe we'll do that at some point. So, but we're not going too much into that right now. We only got about a half hour. Um, Back to
Chris,
Amazon. Yes.
could I just say one other thing about the beta readers
Hmm.
that ties into something I wanted to say anyway?
Hmm.
This is the period of the year when I am a judge for the Daphne competition, which
What
is
is
a
that?
mystery and thriller, uh, national, international, very
Mm,
large, prestigious competition.
great.
And if you're going to pay for beta readers, I can't think of a better way to spend your money than to submit your work an application with
Hmm.
$35
Right.
and get a whole bunch of people who many are most are professionals
Right.
um, in response. So if
Sure.
I were going to pay for a beta reader, I would do that.
Yeah. And so that brings up a great point. Another great marketing tool is entering writing contests, book contests. They usually do cost money, but it's usually pretty small. And often they will give you something if they really like your book, if it's, best of show or whatever, you'll they'll give you a uh, like a ribbon JPEG that you can post on the cover of your book. And it looks great when you've won awards, right? Winner of the Sci-Fi Badass Award or whatever. You put that across your book cover. And, that's a great marketing. People are like, oh, this guy won. I watch horror movies that way all the time. Oh, he won Horror Fest. He won this. He won that. I got to check out this movie, right? So that's another thing. So, let's talk reviews on Amazon. So, easiest way to find your books, type your name, right? You type the book title, it's probably not going to come up. And that's how I tell people to find my books. Search for my name, and there they all are, right? Um, Reviews. I got 41 ratings on this guy, right? Dude, this book's been out since 2016, right? I got 27 ratings on this one. I don't remember when this was posted, but it was years ago. Here's my last book. I only got 8 ratings. This I posted at the same time I posted this. So that's about 2016, and I got 38 ratings there. This is my latest book. I got 9 ratings. I already told you. I showed you. It's my best-selling book, right? Right now, but I only got 9 ratings. Reviews are so hard to get, but we live and die by our reviews. We need reviews, which means some of what you're going to post for your book is posting to your social media guys and saying, hey guys, if you've read my book, please, I need you to review it. I live and die. They already like you, they want to help you. I live and die by my reviews, right? I need your help, whatever you do. Uh, and when you do that free book through Select, I get normally when I do that, I get about 200 to 300 people who actually download my book for free. Um, and I might get 3, 4 reviews out of that if I'm lucky, right? They're just people don't want to review, but they're so important. And again, here's my oldest book, 2016. I got 41 ratings. Now that's pretty good, but it took me how many years to get there, right? Um, Geez, it's like 8 years it took me, 7 years to get that many. So, but again, there's another thing you want to hit on to try to because this is really your market on Amazon, right? If you get somebody to come to your page, they're going to look up. I do on everything on Amazon. First thing I do is go look at the reviews, right? So that's that. Let's close that. What is some other? Any questions so far? All that stuff I've gone through.
Who did the music on your Texas Chainsaw musical? Did you do that?
No, so I
Just
actually had a partner with that show, Corey Bidoff, and he did the music and most of the lyrics. I wrote the play, I wrote the book, and I actually originally wrote this around because I'm not a music guy. I wrote that show around music by Oingo Boingo, if anybody knows who they are, and or the lead singer and main songwriter was Danny Elfman, who's one of the biggest composers in Hollywood now. And I wrote around that, and I asked him, "Hey, can I perform this show with your songs?" And he was really
oh,
cool. He was like, "Yeah, I'll let you do one." But it didn't work out. He didn't want me to keep using it, and so I found somebody else to do the music. And I kind of gave him a hint like this song should sound like a train on its tracks or stuff like that. This should be a duet
right.
or stuff like that, right? And kind of, but yeah, he's a brilliant composer. And by the way, another marketing tool because we had so many people asking. We created a soundtrack, right? I think it cost me like $3,000 to get it put together, but it sells pretty nicely. The more stuff you can sell, the better, right? It's about numbers. Self-publishing is about numbers. All right. Any other
Okay,
questions?
thanks.
All right. All right. Let's see what else is. I think I've gone through social media. I I can't stress enough how important that is. That is your main tool. Almost every other tool comes off, and every other thing you're going to market, especially the free stuff, is going to come off of your social media. And that's something you should be doing immediately, whether you have a book out already, or whether you have a book coming out in 8 years, build it. And it takes a while to do it. So you need to do this. It's a lot of work, but you know, you're an author. You want to sell, it takes a lot of work. Okay.
How
Uh,
about Book Bub? Do you do anything with them?
with who?
Book Bub. It's called Book Bub.
No, no, I really do mostly hear Goodreads pretty much if you have a book published on Amazon, it's pretty much going to get pushed to Goodreads. Um, these other things, listen, you should check everything, right? I'm so busy that I'm limited. I keep a very specific um, amount of groups and stuff. And it's that's just what I do. You got to look around. There's all kinds of things, right? Don't just listen to what I'm saying, and don't assume that what I'm saying is 100% correct. This is what worked for me. You got to put the effort in, and that really is the key. You got to put the effort in, right? You want to sell books, you want people to start reading you. That's what you do, right? Um, what is another marketing tool I use? Well, let me ask you guys. Anybody use some marketing tool that I haven't mentioned yet?
I'm going to do Book Bub. That's why I asked the
Okay,
question.
there you go. So there's another place you can do it. Um,
Jay,
I'll,
what is book love?
It's a subscription service. People sign up for free and low cost books, and major authors as well as unknown authors post there. You have to pay,
right,
but you get thousands of, and they tie in directly to Amazon.
right,
You click on, you click on their site, but it goes to Amazon.
yeah,
Um, and people, when I see something by John Sanford come through on BookBub, I I I take notice.
Okay,
good stuff.
thank you.
Um, that's great.
You you did some weblogs or something. You did some interviews, didn't you? That you haven't talked about, um, Chris.
Oh, me, yes. So that is another thing is don't just be on your stuff, inundate everybody else, right? I am frequent guest on podcasts, on blogs, and I look for everything. I had this book here that I've got the picture from Little Idiots. I found a blog that was called But What Are They Eating? And it was a post about food that is in your book, right? So I did let's see if I can even find it. I don't even know if it's still there. But Christopher Minori, what are they eating? It's so silly. I hope she's not listening. Nah, I don't even say she might have taken it down. But oh, I misspelled my name. Let's see if that fixes it. Food fic. Here it is. Right. But what are they eating? It was great. And I wrote about my book, right? And but they don't need anything in it. They just drink booze. And I wrote a whole bunch of stuff there, and I put a couple quotes that I thought would make people maybe write. And then I get to put a little biography here, and here's all of the things you can find me on. And I do that all the time, right? With blogs, and then at the same time, and again, it doesn't have to be about your book, right? I've done podcasts with about being an expat, and I'm telling you, this one I did is bigger than just about anything I've ever done. I've had so many people reach out to me, but it's still marketing. I take every chance to tell every person who reaches out to me that I'm an author, right? Just mention it in passing. I don't push it too hard. Um, anyway, so yeah, man, find those places you can guest host on. Do Google searches. Look for things. When I was releasing Penny Dreadful, again, it's a children's book. I was doing Google searches for children author blogs, children author podcasts. And then I just reached out to him. Hey, I'm the author of blah, 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 and I've done this before, and I just published this new book, and I would love to be on your show, right? Sometimes you can offer freebies, right? Yeah, and so when you do Audible, they actually another marketing tool. They give you uh, links that are basically coupons for people to buy a copy of your book. They use this code and they go on to Audible and they can automatically download your book with that. And I think you get like 50 to 100 of those every time you publish one. That's great. I do little contests online. I go on a podcast and I offer up maybe two of those, right? Um, again, marketing, anything you're giving away or talking about or being part of is going to go towards your marketing because those podcasts we already saw, they're showing up when you search for my name, right? They Google, you put something on, somebody puts it on. Google owns YouTube, they own so many things, right? And so those things get cataloged when the owners, when the people who do them, pop them on, and they show up when you do your social media. And again, it gives you cred or makes people go, wow, this guy's a real author. I should really check his stuff out, right? It's all about that, man. um, what else was I going to talk about? There was something else. Oh gosh, I don't know. Wow. Uh, Here's the thing. You get what I'm saying, right? There are so many different. Oh, here's something I do. So another marketing thing. Um, I screwed up and I haven't put my newsletter here. I thought I had it here at some point. I don't know what happened to it, but if you sign up for my newsletter, my book series about Sam, my Banished Demon book series is what it's kind of called, and it's they're detective novels, but in a fantasy vein. And my lead character is this obnoxious demon, right? He's the hero of my books, named Sam. And so I created a little email address for Sam, and when you signed up for my email list, you got a personal letter from him insulting you. People love that, right? And so that was another marketing thing. Be creative. Figure out something you can do. Here's a thing for your paperbacks you can do. This is what I want to talk about. Bookstores. Now, this is not going to work for you guys here in Panama, right? Especially in Boquete. There's one bookstore, it's Spanish. But I will tell you this, my books are in the library. I brought them and donated them. They love it. And one of the things they'll do is if you have a lot of people in Panama who's interested in your books, or you just want to invite a bunch of people, when you donate your books, they will actually do a ceremony where you here are my books, and you can invite whoever you want. And so, again, that's another marketing tool. Everything's a marketing tool that brings attention to you. So bookstores. All right, what about bookstores? I always hear people going, "Oh, I want to put my book in Walden Books and Barnes and Nobles." It's so expensive as a self-publisher. With a big publisher, they may take your book and put them in there, or they may say, I don't know, I don't trust this guy yet. He's not proven. We're just going to put him at a bus stand, right? You never know. But they will handle that if you're going traditional publishing. As a self-publisher, the way bookstores work, the big bookstores, is you give them a certain amount of books, usually a crate or two. Um, they don't pay you right off. Whatever books they sell, they will give you money for. Whatever books they don't sell, they will rip the covers off, throw them away, and probably give the rest of your books away for free or throw them in the garbage, right? They don't send back the books they don't sell. It's too expensive for them. And you only get however much profit you get, right? So I looked into doing that, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. I don't have that kind of money to send, 100 books, and then maybe they sell 50, and then I'm in hock for the other 50. Forget it. However, um, if you're in the U.S., maybe other places too, pretty much, well, not pretty much, every city is going to have a number of small bookstores, right? Privately owned bookstores. And these people love getting local authors, right? And so you can sell them, you bring your books, and it works kind of like, oh gosh, what do they call it? When you bring something to a place and they sell it for you, and then you get paid, whatever. Anybody remember what
On
that?
consignment.
Consignment,
Mhm.
yes. They basically work like on consignment. Thank you, Greg. And you bring them. Usually, it's 3 to 5 books they want. You sign a little thing. You say how much you want per book. They're going to take so much. They're going to add price to it, and then they usually have a section that's for local authors. And so that's a great way to get your books in bookstores. If you're from a certain state, even though you're not there anymore, like you guys here, right? I'm from Georgia. I still put my books in Georgia bookstores, and sometimes they will do things like meet the author, and people will come to meet, and there'll be a bunch of authors, and they'll come and they'll meet them, and you can sell your books directly to them, autograph them. People love autographed books. Anytime you're going to donate a book to a bookstore, to wherever, make sure you autograph them because people love that, right? Um, But you don't have to just stick with bookstores. You know where I sell my books in Georgia? I sell them at bookstores. I sell them at comic book stores. My books sell at the largest comic book store in Georgia. I sell them at smoke shops, right? Vape places where you can buy vape cigarettes. I got a couple friends. If you have friends who own businesses, I have friends who are own a salon. I sell my books there. Uh, go to dentists and doctors' offices and just donate your book. Don't even charge them for it. And then it's sitting out on the table, and people are waiting to go to the dentist, and they pick up your book and start reading it. Right? And they go, "Wow, this is good. I don't have enough time to read the whole book, but I got to pick this thing up." Right? Man, there's so much stuff if you think outside the box. Um, Conventions. Again, people here, you're probably not going to do conventions, but I used to do these all the time in Georgia. The Doctor Who convention, the horror convention, sci-fi convention. I would rent a booth. For the smaller conventions, they're pretty cheap. I think I paid 50 to 100 bucks, and then I get to set up a booth. And I bring all my books, and I sell them there. And I will often ask those people, hey, can I do a guest panel? In other words, I'll run one of yours. So these conventions, they have panels where you go in, and maybe it's about, oh, Doctor Who yesterday and today, right? And so you go in. I did one about the Grand Guignol at a horror convention, right? And then, of course, I mentioned, and by the way, I'm selling books out there if you want to read them and people like my thing, maybe they'll come by and buy a couple books. They did. And the other thing I like to do is so there's always celebrities at these conventions, and I will give them a free book, autograph it to them, and get a picture of them holding it. Man, that's great advertising, right? Um, oh my gosh, let me see here. Oh man, I don't even know if I can find it. I think it's under celebrities. No, 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 no. Oh, there you go. Zach Galligan. You guys know this? You ever see Gremlins? This is the guy who did the lead, played the lead in in Gremlins. I got him to hold
I
up a copy of my
I
book.
I saw it a long time ago.
Right.
Long time ago.
So there's that guy, right? Here's Carolyn Monroe. Oh my God, I have such a crush on Carolyn Monroe. She was in so many old B movies and stuff. She was in 1 Million BC. She was in Maniac. Jason and the Argonauts. She was in so many stuff. And so I got her to hold up my soundtrack. And by the way, when I went to see her, I told her how much of a crush I had, and she said I was gorgeous. I just got to throw that out. So anyway, that's another marketing tool, right? And I posted these on my website. I posted on Facebook. I got tons of uh, likes on those, right? Um, uh, again, it's another kind of out of the box um, marketing tool. Um, all right. I think that's a good play. Oh, you know what? One thing I want to leave out with. All right. Let's talk about vanity press publishers and marketers and editors for that matter. There is a glut on the market of these things, right? A vanity press is a place that says, we want to sell your book for all you got to do is pay us $3,000 and we're going to sell your book and we're going to do your marketing and we're going to do your editing. And most of the time, those are ripoffs. You should never have to pay anybody to publish your book, right? Um, to publish your book as a publisher because I have an editing business and I do charge to help people publish their books, but I help them through the process of it, which they don't know. And but the book is under their name. I'm not publishing it under my company or anything, so that's a little bit different, right? But even like with editors, even with me, you don't know who I am, and you got to be careful. There's so many ripoffs there. You know, always get a demo, right? I know Jane's daughter is an editor. I'm an editor, and I always give out 3 to 5 pages of. You send me 3 to 5 pages of your book, and I'll edit it and show you what I do, right? And then you can decide. And I give testimonials and all that kind of stuff. And I charge a lot cheaper than a lot of these places because they're charging $3,000 to $6,000 to do editing, which I think is ridiculous for new authors because 9 out of 10 times you are never going to see that money back, ever. You got to go into this with an open mind, right? You're not writing to make money because you're probably not gonna. You're writing because you love it, because you have to, and you want to try to share it with as many people as you can. And that's really the best way. You do that, and you will not be disappointed with how stuff goes. Um, and I think that's where I'm going to leave off because we got about 10 minutes. So let's leave it up for questions. Anything whatsoever, stuff I didn't cover, stuff I did, follow ups. What do y'all got? I'll tell you what you got. You got 10 minutes.
I want to take 30 seconds to say that there is a buyer beware message that I want to transmit.
Hmm.
There's a woman in Boquete who, who says she's a marketing professional, and she's a marketing professional of herself.
Right.
And I don't recall her name right now, but just be careful of anybody who says they're a marketing specialist,
Yeah.
especially for books
Right.
in Boquete.
Yeah. Well, and beyond Boquete, right? It really is people online are often screwing you. I would say more editors slash marketers slash publishers are going to steal your money, do a crappy job than the ones who are going to do good jobs. You've got to feel comfortable. Don't jump at the first person. And I will tell you that one website, Fiverr, and I know occasionally, very occasionally, there's somebody good on there, but most of the time you're getting ripped off. You're getting what you paid for, right? Um, Having said that, hire me because I charge cheap amount of money and I'm good. Anyway, out of that. So, um,
Can I say something?
yes, please.
The because I totally went fiber because I didn't have the money. But of the people that I work with, I'm gonna say 70 to 80% of them I'm satisfied with. Now,
Mhm.
because I'm new, that may not mean anything, but I was satisfied with the work. And
Right.
now in the future, if God blesses and this books make some money, yeah, then I can go with that. But when you just starting out, for me, fiber was a blessing.
Yeah, and for some people it is, right? But I will tell you, your story is not common. A ton of my clients are people who started with Fiverr and got nothing for their money, and so they came to me. And I think a lot of editors see that as well. Um, it's not just Fiverr, it's Facebook. If you go in their groups, you're going to see people doing that. It's Twitter, it's all these different places. You sign on as Twitter and you mention you're an author, you're going to get inundated with people going, "Hey, I'm a marketer, blah blah." It's I ignore them all, right? Because 9 out of 10 times they're shit. I mean, straight out, they are. They're they're going to take your money and they're going to run and they're going to do the least amount of work and it's not going to do you a dang bit more and probably a lot less than if you do your own marketing. As a self publisher, especially when you're just beginning, you don't have a lot of money to spend, right? You can do your own marketing, you just have to put the work in. It's a lot of work when you get started, but once it takes off, right? So, Betty, you probably got another 1,000 people to bring in before people start coming in on their own, and it starts. You do less work, right? That's how it winds up working. The The more people you have, they talk to their friends, they recommend their friends, right? You put topics they're interested in. They're like, posting a tag to John Smith because you like Doctor Who. You should read this, right? And all that kind of stuff. How many more times do you think I can mention Doctor Who before we finish in 6 minutes? I bet a bunch more. Doctor Who. Okay. Any other questions? Anything whatsoever? Oh, okay. I say I missed a couple questions to from Phyllis, whose computer is screwed up. So yes, when I say Twitter, I mean X. I've been on Twitter a long time. They just changed their name to X because Elon Musk is a dickhead. He's an idiot. I'll say it straight out. But a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's such an idiot. I'm dropping off Twitter or I'm dropping off X." Not me, man. I got 5,000 friggin' people on there following me, right? I don't care how much of a jerk he is. I'm keeping my following, right? And then Phyllis subscribes to BookBub. I wish we could hear you talk because I would love to hear more about that. Uh, and then there you go. And Jane said the same thing, like me. Her hairdresser sells her books, right? Um, just walk in. I grabbed a box of books and I drove to every vape shop in Georgia and comic book shop in Georgia and just said, "Hey, will you carry my books?" Um, and 9 out of 10 times they will. They're not paying you right up front, so they're happy to carry it, and they love supporting. That's the other thing. Most of them are private, and they love support. Tattoo shops. That's another one who carries my books, right? They love supporting local authors, right? It's really nice. I mean, it's very special. It's very cool that they support us that way. All right. We have about 5 more minutes. Any other questions? Anything, whether it has to do with marketing or something about publishing or whatever. Go ahead and hit me.
When you order your books, I'm sorry. When you order your books, you send them the ones that come to Panama.
Hmm.
What company do you normally use?
I use red and blue. They seem to be the cheapest that I've found so far. Um, And yeah, and when you're ordering your books, you actually don't do that through Amazon. Go on to KDP, and under each book, there's 3 dots. You click on them, and one of the thing is order author copies. And when you order your own books, it only costs you what it costs to print the book and shipping. They're not prime. You got to pay shipping. Now, for us in Panama, that sucks. My book, I sell it for like $7. It costs me $5 to ship it here, right?
Right.
So that just sucks for anybody not in Panama. It's expensive to get mail here. We don't have mailing addresses, so we have to use mailing services. But yeah, so far, and I haven't used them all, but I found red and blue is the cheapest.
And you order through KDP.
Yeah, always order through KDP because if you order through Amazon, they're going to charge you what they're going to charge you what you're selling the book for. But if you go through KDP, they'll just charge you for what it costs to print it. So if one of my books costs $4, I can order it. If I was in the state, it'd be perfect. I'd order it, maybe have $1 shipping, cost me $5. I'll go to a convention, I'll sell it for 10. I made, 2 times the profit or 1 time the profit. I made profit. I'm not doing mathing today. I'm no good at it. All right.
Chris,
Quick
how,
question.
oh,
Hi.
go ahead, Ruth.
Um, in terms of social media, I know you mentioned briefly LinkedIn.
Hmm.
Do you use that?
I do. I do.
And
So when I was working in network security, everybody wants to ping you on LinkedIn. So I have a huge following on LinkedIn. And yeah, when I publish a book, I post it to everybody there. When I do my animation stuff, I post it to everybody there. I get a lot of likes there. Um, It doesn't
Okay.
just have to be your job. For anybody who doesn't know, LinkedIn is basically a network for jobs and stuff, right?
Right.
If you're
Right.
on
Right.
there, you got fired or you got let go or you just leave your job and you're like, hey,
Right.
anybody got a job in this thing? That's kind of the
Mm,
place you do it. But you can also do advertising for your books.
okay. Great. Thank you.
Just don't inundate it. That is a big one you don't want to inundate because people will start dropping you.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to kill this presentation. No, I won't yet.
Chris,
Yes.
I have one final question.
Hmm.
How do you price, how do you split the price between yourself and the vape shops, for example, or the tattoo places?
So most of those places, you tell them how much you want to sell it for, and they add what they want to add. I don't split
Oh,
what I want. If I'm selling a book for $8, I give it to them. I go, this costs $8. Maybe they sell it for 10, right? Sometimes I've had other shops that don't even get any money from my books. They just pop them up in the window or whatever and do it for free. But yeah, they're going to put their own price. If you go to a local bookstore, they will definitely charge for it, but they're going to charge on top of what you charge. So you don't want to go too high or people won't pay your books. If you're charging $15 for your book and then something that, the bookstore is charging $3 on top of that, who's buying your book for $18? Probably nothing, right? It's about selling. The lower your prices are, the more books you'll sell, the more money you'll make, even if you were charging two, three times more for your book before. You'll make more money if you sell it at a more decent price.
thank you.
Hmm. All right. Well, we are just about done. Man, this was a long video. I apologize, but I think there's a lot of good info in here. And so,
Amen.
yeah, so I'm going to log
Mhm.
off of the video real quick and then finish up with our meeting. Again, I just want to say if you're interested in joining our authors group, we'd love to have you. Ping me on Facebook Messenger and we'll get you set up. We have people from all over the world, right? We got people from Bogota. We used to have someone from Trinidad. Greg used to be in New Zealand. Jane is in Georgia. People are all over. So absolutely, you can join no matter where you are, and we would love to have you. We'd like to hear your stuff. So we're gonna leave that off here, and bye.